What is happening, everybody? I am the Architect, and today I am bringing you guys another manga first impression video, this time for a brand spanking new series called Mieruko-Chan. Now, I read this first volume the other night before I went to sleep, which probably wasn't the greatest idea considering the contents of this, but we'll get into that in this video. But before we do that, if you're new here, I post weekly manga related videos, so if you're interested in that sort of thing, hit that like button, go ahead and slam the subscribe button, and ring that little bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. My Right Stuff affiliate link and links to my social media are down in the description below. And something cheap plug, something YouTube stuff. Okay, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into this first impression. Mieruko-Chan by Tomoki Izumi is a story about this girl, Miko, a high school student who wakes up one morning suddenly being able to see monsters and ghosts all around her. And when I say she can see ghosts, I'm not talking about the little boy Sixth Sense, I see dead people type of ghost. I mean horrifying Junji Ito level of monsters, man. Honestly, some of the imagery in here, we'll get into that, but obviously this is a pretty big shock for Miko, and she realizes very soon that nobody else can see these monsters, only her, but they're all around when she goes to school, when she's eating dinner with her parents, when she's out on the streets or whatever. Man, they are literally everywhere. And obviously she doesn't want to tell anybody about it because, first of all, who would believe her? They would think she's crazy. And secondly, she doesn't know what these monsters are going to do to her, if they can even do anything. So the only thing that she can think to do about it is to just ignore them and pretend she doesn't see them, which seems to be working. She ignores them, and they don't really go after her. They don't really touch her. They do go after her friends, however, especially one particular friend, Hana, who apparently, as it's revealed, has some kind of big, huge aura that just draws all these creatures to her. So Miko has to find a way to protect her friend from it without actually telling her about these monsters or what she can see. And so she has to go through her daily life at school and with family and such, pretending that she does not see these horrific monsters. And I'm telling you what, man, this is no joke. The art in this goes from perfectly fine and pristine kind of slice of life to Junji Ito nightmare in a single frame. And anybody who's read a Junji Ito manga knows the art of the page turn, about how one frame they kind of tease what's going on at the end of the page, and then you turn the page and you're just hit with just a awful, horrific, traumatizing image. This manga uses the same technique, but uses it as a bit of a comedy trope. You're conditioned to believe that every time Miko looks around something or opens a locker or reaches in for something, that there's something horrific that's going to be there. And every page turn, you get that kind of feeling, and it is rather interesting, this being used in a comedy sense. And actually, I really liked it. I mean, honestly, for me, every page turn was either me laughing or me saying, oh shit. Sometimes both. See what this manga did? It made me break my PG rating here on YouTube. Might have to censor that. I'm not monetized, but oh fuck. A good example of the way that this utilizes it, and this isn't too much of a spoiler since it's so early on, but if you can I hope you can see that, but if you can see that it starts off like, you know, she meets up with her friend and everything seems fine, and then you turn the page and you're met with something like that. Ugh. This is a pretty funny manga. It kind of subverts your expectations, you know, what you're going to see on the next page and everything. And seeing her work out of these scenarios where maybe her friend is being grabbed by these ghosts or creatures, and she, obviously no one else knows about it. Her friend doesn't know that she's being groped by this weird thing. But seeing as how Miko can kind of deal with these situations is kind of funny and kind of clever, and it's really it's just a funny story so far, and I like it so far. I will say that there is a dark twist at the end of this volume that completely caught me off guard. I did not expect what happened at the end of this, and it completely changed the tone of this entire volume. I'm not going to spoil it because I do think you guys should read this. It is a pretty interesting, horror comedy type of story. That twist, though, man, it hit hard. It really did. And it makes me want to read more of it because I want to see how that element plays into the rest of the story, man. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Tomoki Izumi was at least slightly inspired by Junji Ito in this. Just given the designs of these monsters and ghosts. If this was a straight up horror, those monsters would fit right in, honestly. But because it's a horror comedy, it kind of lightens the mood a little bit. And again, until that twist. But if you're a fan of horror comedy, this is a fun new series, I think it's going to pick up some steam pretty soon among the manga community. It's rather new. It only came out probably a couple months back in Japan and just got released last month here in America. I think it's going to pick up some steam in the manga community as time goes on. Is it the best thing I've read so far? No. Is it the funniest thing I've read so far? No. That would probably be Grand Blue Dreaming. Read Grand Blue Dreaming, by the way. I need to get more myself, but you definitely need to get more. But this does blend the horror and comedy elements really well in my opinion. The artwork is solid. Again, it goes from these calm, clean scenes to just horrifying nightmare in a split second. It's done really, really well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this story goes from here. How far they can take this series. How long Miko can keep her sanity seeing these creatures every day and just ignoring them and keeping it all in. Because, man, I don't know if I could do that for this long, man. I don't know. Just realized on the spine they have a little monster face in the O. Not sure if you can see that. That's cute and kind of creepy at the same time, which actually describes this manga perfectly. I would definitely give this manga a try if you're interested in horror comedy and the like. So far, pretty good. So folks, that is going to do it for this little manga first impression video of Mieruko-Chan. What do you guys think? Have you read this so far? If you have, what do you guys think of it? Also, if you have any recommendations or suggestions for first impressions I should do in the future, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. And if you watched it all the way to the end, I thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I look forward to more videos. I have maybe 1 or 2 more videos before the new year, and then January might just, I think it's just going to take off from there. I'm going to go crazy next year. Now watch me not post for like 2 weeks. Anyway, on that note, I am the Architect, and I'll see you in the next video.
Perfect.